What is going on, YouTube? It's Tyler from Mission VR, where it's my mission to bring you guys good quality VR content. So, welcome back to the second installment of a Mission VR briefing, which is going to be my monthly news segment. And today we are going to be talking about some VR related news going into the month of February. And if you've been paying attention at all, the last really week or so, there has been some incredible news dropped in the VR marketplace. And overall, just some really incredible things that are coming for virtual reality, not just in 2021, but for future, and honestly, some society breaking scary things that, can both be awesome and at the same time, maybe detrimental to society. So it's an interesting avenue of where VR is headed for the future. I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are on that. Please do drop those in the comment section below. Before we hop into this, I want to talk about our meme of the month, which is voted for on my Discord server, where you guys can join. The link is in the description, and you can drop your own VR related memes for a chance to win meme of the month. And this month's meme is now being displayed on the screen. And yes, this is maybe a little bit of a darker meme, but overall, basically, you can add to the realism of shooters using this device right here in virtual reality. Maybe not the best application for all of us, but definitely an interesting, and it gave me a good laugh. That being said, guys, we are going to hop into this video after an official word from our sponsor, VR Final, which is another place to grab a lot of virtual reality related news. If you're interested in checking out vrfinal.com for a news place, I will leave the link in the description. And without further ado, let's hop on into our first section of the video here. Alright, so with our first section of this video, we are going to be going over VR hardware and some of the incredible news that has been released over the last week or so regarding the VR hardware space. And obviously the first one going to be probably the reason why you clicked on this video, the Oculus Quest 3. Yes, you hear me correctly, the Oculus Quest 3 has been confirmed. Now, we have zero details about this headset at all. All it was said was basically Mark Zuckerberg basically said that they were working on improving and upgrading hardware, and they have another headset basically in the works. I wouldn't expect to see any type of major details on that even anytime soon, and I certainly wouldn't expect a release anytime sooner than 2022, just because they just released the Quest 2 late of this year, or last year. So no doubt there's probably going to be zero any type of specs or anything like that on this headset, but I know personally, using the Oculus Quest 2 myself, things I would like to see improved would be battery life for standalone and the Oculus Link features to be able to connect to PC. Definitely need some work, as there's certain games that have some latency issues, and it just overall the software is very young, and I'd like to see them improve the Link capabilities overall. The next major piece of VR-related hardware news that I'm sure at this point everybody's had to have heard about, and that is what Valve has been working on and what they have been researching in the background. While we've all been kind of waiting for an Index 2 announcement, I'm not so sure that Valve is ready to announce anything along the lines of that, considering that they're looking into brain-computer interface, similar to, I guess, what you would call Sword Art Online or maybe Ready Player One stuff, just basically going to completely immerse you into a virtual play space. And they're even talking about quote from Gabe Newell himself, an extinction level event for every entertainment form. And as cool as that may sound, as we could put on a headset and basically our brains now basically enter us into a dream state, which would be the game, and we're creating and fighting things off how we would like to see from certain hardware, that not only could be pretty awesome, but also kind of scary, because I'm not necessarily sure any of us would really want to come back to this dull reality when we can go in and hop in and fly on a hoverboard and start shooting aliens every day of our life. So certainly an interesting thing that's going on, but it looks like Valve has partnered with OpenBCI to make VR gaming more immersive. And it's certainly going to be an interesting avenue to keep our eyes on. They don't really have many details on what they are working on, as regards to any of that, but they have said that they do want to bring it to the consumers rather than the industrial and commercial applications that we tend to see the most high-end VR tech that goes towards right out of the gate, and it eventually trickles down to the consumer. Valve, if anything, is going to put a focus on video games because that's what they have done and what they are doing, and they're going to continue to push the boundaries of VR forward. I will definitely be looking forward to some more interesting stats and specs as we continue to move forward in this realm. So for some of the other VR hardware related news, first up I want to talk about Deca Gear, which we all know is supposed to come out this spring. They have a May release date that they're touting on their website, and I know that a lot of us are pretty excited to see what this headset is really capable of, because if it meets all the specs and all the things that they're talking about, it's no doubt going to be a next generation VR headset. But I have been in contact with the developers about this headset, and it doesn't look like they're going to meet that May deadline, which kind of really sucks for all of us that pre-ordered it in the hopes that we would have our hands on this thing before the summer. So we'll continue to monitor that situation and see where we're at with it, and maybe they will at the last minute be able to meet it, but at this point it's not looking likely. On top of that, Apple has announced that they are coming out with a VR related headset, and it's supposed to hit the market sometime next year. Now, we don't have a lot of details on this, but knowing Apple, it's probably going to be pretty expensive considering everything else they bring out is super expensive. I do expect it to be definitely cutting edge, as most of the things that Apple brings out are pretty cutting edge, but I will say this, it's going to be expensive, yeah, cutting edge, but we'll see how well it integrates with PCs, as we know that Apple products don't necessarily go hand in hand with Windows platforms, and pretty much everybody is going to want this thing for gaming, so I will be skeptical, and we'll see how it integrates into a PC, especially like with Steam. I'm not sure how it's going to do any of that, and whether it'll be standalone or not is yet to be seen. All right, guys, and our last piece of news with regards to headsets is this Canon M-Reels S1. And yes, everybody's kind of done a video on this thing, but I mean, like, who cares? Honestly, look at this thing. First of all, if you look at what they're bringing out with it, I mean, yeah, there's probably going to be a piece that's going to prevent the peripherals. But if you look at the trailer they have, like, they're going to be able to see out of the side of your eye peripherals. You're not even going to be fully immersed. But hang on a second. Bear with me here. Yes, this headset, I'm sure, is going to have some amazing features to it for such a small piece of equipment. Like, if you look at this thing, overall, it's by far the smallest piece of equipment that you could integrate a virtual reality interface into. Now, here's the kicker. This thing's $38,000. Look at this thing. It's $38,000. Who cares? Is anybody ever going to get their hands on this? I mean, on top of that, you're talking industrial and commercial applications that I'd be like, why would I buy this for my employees to do whatever they got to do when I could buy them an Oculus Quest 2 for $399 and probably get pretty much the same exact results? Or if you're really going to get into some of the most advanced VR commercial industries, I mean, the different VR3s that are coming out in some of these higher end, $5,000, $3,000 headsets that are going to be very capable of handling everything. Why on earth would you possibly spend $38,000 on a little gimpy piece of equipment that, quite frankly, I don't think it's going to make any splash in the VR marketplace at all. But that's just my opinion. Okay, and lastly, our last piece of hardware I do want to talk about is going to be the haptics gloves that we just got a DK2 announcement for, and these gloves are going to be a really interesting side of virtual reality going forward. I'm interested myself to feel what this is like to use in a real game environment, and obviously as of right now these are pretty much commercial only applications and there is no consumer version. However, haptics has said that they are working on bringing something to the consumers, stuff that's going to be compatible like with the Oculus Quest 2 and other PC VR related content. So it'll be interesting to see how they're able to push this technology forward. I mean, as of right now, you have to wear a big backpack, and these gloves are pretty big and bulky, so I will definitely be keeping my eye on to see how they're going to be able to integrate this forward. Also, on top of that, I'm interested to see how they're going to integrate movement into VR, because I will say this, not everybody wants to invest in a VR treadmill that is several $1,000s at the moment, and also I think that the shoe-related accessories that you can put on your feet are kind of dumb, to say the least. I don't want to sit down while I'm playing a game I'm supposed to be standing to move my feet along the ground. So it'll be interesting to see how they integrate some sort of joystick into them to allow players to move, because I definitely would like to feel, a gun or whatever, or a lever in virtual reality. I think that'd be really cool, but certainly I will say this, if I can't move around and I have to use some shoe or treadmill, it's probably going to be a long ways off. So it'll be interesting to see how haptics integrates this into the consumer-friendly market at a reasonable price in the future. Like I said, virtual reality is definitely headed somewhere interesting in the next upcoming 10 or so years. Alright guys, so we've reached our software section of this video, and firstly I want to talk about is the Oculus Quest is releasing some new software that's going to allow for multiple accounts to be used on one single Quest, which is really nice for those of you that are sharing a Quest amongst family members, or maybe you have a Quest and your kid sometimes wants to play but he doesn't want to use your Facebook account because it's named whatever you're named, and there's a laundry list of reasons why you would want to have multiple accounts on a single Quest, and they're going to be allowing you to do this, which is really nice for those of you that are. Unfortunately, you still have to have a Facebook account to use the Quest 2, which is definitely a setback, and I know a lot of people feel a certain way about that, including myself. In other news, Gorn also has been officially released on the Oculus Quest, and if you know anything about Gorn, it's one of the highest, most popular VR games of all time, and it's a fantastic title. It's a gladiator-esque title. It's a lot of fun, and if you've been waiting for it, well, wait no more, because it is officially out, and it's an amazing game. I highly suggest buying this game. On top of that, we also have Hyper Dash that is going to officially be coming to the Oculus Quest store, which if you've played Hyper Dash on SideQuest or on PC VR, you would know that this is a team-based shooter, kind of similar to Overwatch, except without heroes, and there's a lot of objectives and teamworks being played in this game. It's a fast pace, you kind of jump around and ride on guide rails, and there's a lot of really cool things that are going on in this game. It's a team-based shooter and super competitive, a lot of fun, and officially being on the store is definitely going to help the player base continue to grow of this game. I highly recommend checking this one out. Also, Expect to Die 2 is on its way out, which is going to be awesome. The first game was one of the most highly rated titles that you could have gotten on the platform, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm expecting the second game to be just as good, if not better, than the first. On the PC side of things, Population 1 has a big update that was just released that has allowed for a war mode, which is now 9 versus 9 instead of the traditional 3-man squad battle royale. You're going to be able to go 9 versus 9, which is kind of interesting and pretty, it changes up the gameplay loop a little bit. Somebody like me who's put, almost 80 hours into just a single battle royale mode, I will definitely be checking out the war mode to do some 9v9, as that could be a lot of fun and just a change to the overall gameplay loop of the game, which is definitely important to keep a game like this alive for many, many years. On top of that, there's some games that have been missed out on, probably the PC VR side of things on the main store, and that is Crunch Element right now. Crunch Element is an awesome Rainbow Six style shooter where you're going to have destructible environments, and you and a team of soldiers is going to be going into a compound to complete an objective. Now, what's interesting about this game is that, the graphics aren't super amazing or anything like that, but the game offers completely destructible environments, so you can enter the compound from anywhere, really similar to Rainbow Six Siege. You can blow up a wall, you can go through windows, you can come through the ceiling. There's all kinds of different ways to get this done, and the levels are procedurally generated, so you're going to have kind of constant replay value. So definitely a game to check out, and it already has really good reviews on Steam, so make sure you guys check that one out. Also, on top of that, Tales of Glory 2 was released, which if you know anything about Tales of Glory 1, it was a massive battle simulator for medieval warfare, where you could hop into a battle with, say 40 AI players, and, really just kind of recreate that big medieval battle feel in virtual reality. Now, Tales of Glory 1 definitely had its slew of problems, especially early on. The combat really was hard to even hit anybody. It was hard to pull any cool moves off. Now, they worked on the combat system throughout the years, and it definitely got a lot better as the game's lifespan went on, but overall, it still suffered from a little bit of that. But Tales of Glory 2 so far has pretty good reviews on Steam, and it's overall looking like it's going to be a pretty decent game. It's going to be more of a modern game, where you're going to have big battles with guns this time, and there's multiple different levels, and really just a kind of a big epic battle simulator for virtual reality. So if you're into that kind of thing, I highly recommend checking that game out. Well guys, that is it for this Mission VR briefing. Make sure you guys drop a like on this video, and I want to hear some games or VR related news that you guys have heard that maybe I didn't cover in this video. Drop that in the comment section below. Also, I'd love to hear from you guys on really just what you'd like to see from my channel going forward. I know I've been doing these monthly news briefings, but if there's another monthly series or weekly series that you guys would be interested in, definitely drop that in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys on what you guys' perspectives are. On top of that, please do subscribe to my channel. I'm bringing a ton of VR related content, and I'm going to continue to do so moving forward. I've got some good videos coming down the pipeline here that I'm going to be working on for the future. So make sure you guys stay tuned and check that out, and I will see you guys in the next one.